Et en commençant par l'hymne néo-zélandais God Defend New Zealand. Et maintenant pour les Japonais, Kimigayo.
Sélection d'affilée, et bien là pour la première fois il laisse sa place donc au remplaçant.
Alors l'information pour cette équipe de Nouvelle-Zélande, le retour de Zinzanbrook en numéro 8 et de Robin Brook en deuxième ligne, leur dernière chance en fait de figurer dans cette Coupe du Monde car ils sont tous les deux blessés. Nouvelle charnière à Straka, repos, et vous remarquez aussi quelques changements, j'en doute pas, dans cette équipe du Japon. Mais à surveiller le numéro 8, Tongien Latou, le numéro 5, le deuxième ligne, Ferguson. Et cette ligne de 3/4 qui est absolument sans complexe.
Oui, avec un ailier Yoshida.
L'arbitre de ce match sera monsieur Gadjovic, un Canadien. Vous voyez donc Fitzpatrick sur le banc des remplaçants. Mertens et Bachop aussi. Des Japonais qui peuvent s'enorgueillir d'une grande victoire sur une nation importante du rugby. Ce sont les Écossais qu'ils avaient dans un terrain de Bloemfontein où les Français se sont inclinés à 3 reprises face aux Sud-Africains. Ici par le passé, c'est parti avec un ballon capté par Robin Brook. Strachan, Kulan. Et dans les bras de l'arrière, Matsuda qui n'a pas fait en avant. Il est derrière ses 22. Là, il en était sorti et ce sera une touche directe.
Comme ça aurait été beaucoup plus simple de redonner à son ailier Otto qui était venu se placer à côté de lui. Et il était derrière ses 22 mètres, il aurait pu dégager lui directement en touche. Et il était gêné par le soleil probablement, l'arrière, Matsuda. Il avait bien le temps là, de faire sa passe. Il n'était pas gêné.
Lancé énorme et 8 détourné par Larsen en début d'alignement. Jeremia, Eric Rush. Strachan, Kulan à l'intérieur avec Paul Henderson, le capitaine des Blacks aujourd'hui. Robin Brook. Craig Dodd, le pilier gauche. Oh, ça va vite partir pour les Blacks. Jeremia, nouveau point de fixation. Strachan, Kulan, Osborne, Eric Rush. Il va falloir le plaquer, c'est pas le mot mais presque. Et voilà le premier essai des Blacks. Ça n'a pas drainé après 1 minute 26 secondes de jeu signé Eric Rush.
Ah, la machine n'a pas tardé à se mettre en route, mais il est vrai aussi que ça a été beaucoup favorisé par les plaquages, on dirait, aux cheveux ou sous les chevilles des Japonais, alors qu'ils nous avaient habitués jusque-là à plaquer bien. Pardon, sur cette attaque-là, ils montent, mais ils sont un peu en retard. Et donc Rush profite du petit intervalle qui est devant lui. Hop, le 13 le manque. L'arrière est dans le vent. La troisième ligne n'est pas là. Alors effectivement, s'ils leur font quelques cadeaux de ce genre, le score va enfler.
On avait vu dans le haka la détermination des Blacks à ne pas...
In the first minute, he scores a try. Here's Culhane. And no problems with that, so right away the All Blacks signal their intent. They're certainly not going to let up. They're through, of course, into the quarterfinals, but this is not the All Black way. And Rush, who'd come in off the other wing, constantly full of running, as all great Sevens players are, of course, and that's where he's made his name. But he looks as if he's going to also make his name in the 15-a-side. A converted flanker, a fine try, and New Zealand lead by 7 points to 0. So I feel that Yoshida may be doing a little bit of this in this game, as Culhane winning today his first cap inside his 22. And finds touch.
Yes, Chris, the whole game's going to be a fabulous contrast between the speed and the tenacity of these Japanese against this sheer raw power of the All Blacks.
Well, the speed and tenacity will be required here as Sakuraba. Terrible ball there for Murata's scrum half, but offside against the All Blacks. Quickly taken by Murata. Into Yoshida. All Blacks low held, responsible for not letting the ball go, trying to work it on the ground. Tremendous weight disparity, and once again the All Blacks guilty of handling the ball on the ground. Now away goes Latu, the Tongan, up into the All Blacks 22. Not forward, so a scrummage down, and that's Hiroshi. Now there's a tremendous weight disparity in the pack, something like a stone a man. So the Japanese will need all their renowned technique and speed, and here they come away, and it's a marvellous little dart down the short side for Yasuda, but taken by Jeff Wilson. And just how dangerous the Japanese can be on the break, and it was very, very close there. If Yoshida had been able just to hold that pass from his fly half, Hiroshi, then there was real trouble. Culhane with the clearing kick.
Yes, Chris, the Japanese are very quickly going to win the hearts of all the neutral supporters here today. It's great to see the attitude they have to rugby.
That's Zinzanbroek, who's been troubled for 6 weeks with Achilles tendon problems, so very important for him and for the All Blacks that he makes a good showing today and proves his fitness. Sakuraba there, one of their mainline jumpers. Difficult ball for Strachan, did well to get it away to Wilson, and Wilson from a tight angle just going only as far as Matsuda, the fullback. The Japanese looking to counter through Yoshida to Otto, powerful winger, but that's easy meat for Glenn Osborne, and he can prove many times he's done it. He can counter. Look at this lovely running by Osborne, trying to link up with Larson. Come instead for Robinbrook. Laid back classical fashion for Culhane. Terrible pass there, but picked up by Eremia. He's done well, and he's still going. He's a difficult man to bring down. They must make those first-time tackles count. Yoshida, terrible ball there, and there's all sorts of panic in the Japanese defence. They're having to do things far too quickly. They can't control as Lowe rise up to the line and has been awarded the score. And I think it's Richard Lowe at the under all that. We'll see, maybe Robinbrook. He's there. No, I think the try scorer was Lowe. Yes, it is. It's Richard Lowe winning his 45th cap with this second try for the All Blacks.
Yes, it looked as if the All Blacks there had messed up their attacking move, but then this loose passing, just frantic stuff behind the lines there by the Japanese, just allowing the All Blacks to gather the ball together and drive over. I mean, Richard Lowe will be delighted with that. I don't think he scores too many tries.
It's Culhane with the conversion, and again straight and true, and that has increased the All Blacks lead now to 14 points. So Richard Lowe is a first try for the All Blacks, so a great occasion for him. And just the very power of the All Blacks forwards is so difficult for the Japanese. They must make those first time tackles count, and they're in all sorts of trouble. Taken classic fashion there by Blair Larson to Strachan. Culhane not having the best of days so far with his kicking. That's only as far as Yoshida, looking to link up with his other wing, but still he goes. Otto now. Henderson across quickly. Difficult ball for Matsuda. He's taken by Henderson. Now the All Blacks pile in that big black cloud coming through. Japan have done well to win that from Bruce Ferguson and found space. Osborne's across, but manages to keep the ball in touch, looking to link up with Wilson, but again he's found a gap. This time Richard Lowe, so much in the early action in the loose. He's held. The All Blacks pile in once again for Strachan. Now to Ellis. Ellis has rush outside him, and he's got rush clear. He's got inside Matsuda. This is wonderful running by Ellis. It's all so easy. And Mark Ellis, a talented footballer who can play almost anywhere in the back division, weaving a magical pattern there for the try.
Yes, and once again that came from Glenn Osborne. The long pass out there to Ellis certainly gave him the chance to take the ball and get his eye on his opposite number. But a fabulous sidestep off his left foot and then a lung-busting sprint to the goalposts. But that all came from Glenn Osborne, once again bursting away from the All Blacks 22 and showing us a side of All Blacks rugby that really not a lot of us were expecting them to play in this World Cup. But they're dab hands at it now.
So Culhane straight in front of the posts. He's had 3 pretty easy kicks so far, hasn't made any mistakes with them, and we have 21 points on the board already, and seen in the context of how difficult the Japanese proved for some of their other opponents, notably Ireland in the opening stages. Look at this lovely classical centre and the acceleration, and then the wonderful piece of sidestep there, and he was clear. The no cover for him. And the pressure beginning to tell on the Japanese, because they're making all sorts of unforced errors, and that's the last thing they wanted to do, to come back and have to scrummage. So the referee just making sure that the scrummagers wait until the ball has arrived. 21 points, and we haven't played 10 minutes yet. Good looking scrummage. Possession spoiled there for Zinzanbrück. Gets support now from Schuler. Away comes Larson. Culhane. The space behind Otto. Otto has Yoshida and Matsuda in support.
Yes, that was just a rather clumsy take at the back of that scrum by Zinzanbrück, and the All Blacks managed to get round him and hold on to the ball.
That's Craig Dowd, loose head prop. And on the Japanese 22, up there with a little bit of help goes Robin Brooke. Brooke, of course, again very important to this All Black side, his fitness. Now Izawa, back for Morata. Bruce Ferguson, passed to nowhere, but it's picked up by Matsuda. They're making no progress whatsoever, but now Otto's found a little gap. Has support from Sakubara. The pass for Yoshida, but he's tracked all the way by Wilson. In there comes Osborne, always looking to counter. Away now comes Jeff Wilson. He's allowed to run far too far. Support from Norm Hewitt. He likes to run. Larson, there's not very much on for Rush, but there's a lot on down on the right flank, if he can work it clear. The forwards decide to take it on, and away comes Robin Brooke. Robin Brooke showing speed. Caught his support out anyway. Strachan to Culhane. Culhane with Strachan had remained in support. Now to Wilson, now to Ellis. Ellis going in for his second try. And it's all so easy for the All Blacks. And that's Ellis's second try of the match.
Just sheer pressure from the All Blacks. But I must admit there, though, that when Robin Brooke erupted from that maul, and he actually thought he was clear, then it led up to this ball being cleared out to Ellis. And of course, a lovely burst of speed, scragged round the neck and over he went. But when Robin Brooke burst away there and was out in the middle of nowhere, it was a fantastic tackle from Matsuda, the Japanese fullback. It was glorious.
I think they're all fancying their chances, forwards and backs, of getting on the score sheet today, Gordon. But anyway, Mark Ellis has managed it twice, and this by far the hardest kick for Simon Culhane. 100% record so far. 27-year-old from Southland. He struck that beautifully, and they all come alike to you, Culhane, this afternoon. Near or far, wide out or straight in front, and it's another conversion, and the All Blacks lead is increased to 28 points to 0. And as you were saying, it's just sheer pressure, relentless, remorseless. And Mark Ellis, who's played on the wing, who's played in the centre, and who's played also at fly half on the England tour, was over for the try.
That was a wonderful example there, though, with that head-on camera shot, seeing the ball carrier, keeping the ball clear of the tackler.
So they're now trying to vary the kick-off, but the result is pretty well the same. Culhane, beautiful touch by him from a very tight angle, and you can see the Japanese shoulders dropping. They really have been hit. Culhane, lovely kick. Japan cut their line to 2. Kunda, the skipper, to Sukaraba. It's back from Bruce Ferguson. And this is to Osborne again. Now what's he going to do? He's attacked from every ball he's got, but it's bounced instead for Wilson. To Matsuda. Now Matsuda, he loves to counter. Well, that could be a difficult ball, but across has come Culhane. Culhane has found space. Up over the 10-metre line to Henderson. He has Rush outside him. Rush holds up and waits for the support. They're almost going too quickly for their own support, but now they hold. Back for Strong. Iremia. Ellis. They keep coming. Ellis going away again. He can go all the way, perhaps, if he can get the ball inside to Wilson. No, he can't. Taken by Yoshida. Oh, Yoshida passes into space, and it's so easy this time for Larson. For Brooke it was Brooke who scored. Larson just coming off the field. It was Brooke who scored. And again, the pressure telling. It was Mark Ellis trying to get the ball back inside to Wilson. Taken by Matoki, but Matoki just threw the ball any old where, and it was Brooke who was over.
Yes, that was Christmas time for Brooke. And yet the Japanese looked to have actually killed off the attack with the superb tackle on Ellis. Ellis actually was a wee bit greedy. He decided to pin his ears back and go for it when he had a man on either side of him. I'm disappointed for the Japanese there that they actually lost that score.
So Culhane with the kick, and it's successful once again. It's 35 points to 0. Robin Brooke showing early on that he's recovered from that calf muscle injury. Matoki under terrible pressure, just passing the ball straight for Brooke, and the try was scored. Taken by Shula. And still Schuller comes away. There are just gaps everywhere now. It's just so easy. Schuller running the length of the field. Strong. Out to Brook. Bravely taken by Murata, but the All Blacks penalised for going down on the ground. They must stay on their feet. 16, almost 17 minutes gone. The All Blacks leading by 35 points to 0. Kevin Schuller. And that's Hirose. Hirose, the fly half, just 22 years of age, winning his 3rd cap today. And there is Blair Larson, who's come off. That's the man who's taken his place. Jamie Joseph is on. And the try scorer, Brook. Not keeping the gap, so away comes Sukaraba. Izawa. Now Muratu, that's Bruce Ferguson. But the Japanese haven't been able to get any continuity. And away comes Strawn. There's a huge gap there for Wilson to chase. Matsuda comes across. Yoshida's with him, and it's all that Matsuda can do. Huge gaps appearing behind the first line of the Japanese defence. A reminder that immediately after this match, Ireland against Wales in Johannesburg. Kick-off 4 o'clock, followed by England against Western Samoa in Durban at 7 o'clock. Here it's 35-0 to Japan. We've had just 18 minutes of play gone. That's the Japanese 22. Dowd holds. Away comes Kunda, the captain, but there's no way past.
It'll be quite interesting just to see how the All Blacks keep their discipline here. I don't mean the fact that they can start throwing their weight around, but sometimes when you play against a team that are playing as loosely as Japan, your own play becomes loose without actually thinking about it.
It's found by Schuller to Eremia. Eremia's found a huge gap. Trying to get the ball to Henderson, to Ellis. Is Ellis going in for his hat-trick? Loses control of the ball, and it's Glenn Osborne in there to score. Not knocked forward, said the referee. Looked perhaps as if Ellis had knocked it forward. The referee was right on the spot, as was Osborne, for another try.
Yes, it's a bit of a shame when the rub of the green actually goes to the All Blacks. Ellis, once again, when the ball comes out to him, he really fancies having a go. But in the tackle, the ball does get knocked back. You can see this coming up. Here he goes. He fancies another go. The ball gets actually knocked back the way by the Japanese tackler. So the referee was quite right.
Well, Ellis causing all sorts of problems with his pace, his acceleration, and his running skills in midfield. And the All Blacks, who have looked probably the most impressive of the front runners, also seem to have strength in depth. As Culhane gets a good contact, and another wonderful kick from Culhane. He hasn't missed so far, and he's stretching that lead all the while. 42 points to 0.
Yes, just great direct running from the All Blacks, committing the defenders. And I'll tell you something, Chris, I bet you this Billy Ellis today, I'm sure he'll pick up half a dozen tries before the game's finished.
Taken by Schuller. Laid back beautifully for Strawn. Culhane with time and space.
I think, Chris, we'll have to get some of the record books back out again, because when you see the points that are on the board already, goodness knows what's going to happen by the time 80 minutes have gone.
Well, 6 tries already, and we're just into the second quarter of this match. That's Jamie Joseph come on as the replacement for Larson. Difficult ball for Murata to scrum half. Has support from his forwards now. That's his captain, Kunda, in the scrum half position. To Hirose, the chip ahead for Matoki. Strawn is back and does very well to clear. Now Eremia, so powerful. won his first caps for Western Samoa. And away comes Brook. Now Zinzan. Ellis has men outside him. Osborne to Rush. Rush has a clear run. Matoki trying to come across to cut him out. So too a marvellous tackle by Matsuda. That's a beauty. But in there is Henderson. Henderson had never stopped running in support, and the All Blacks pile in again. It's remorseless stuff. And they still have it in the maul. They're moving towards the Japanese line. It's so hard for them to hold up this huge black blanket. And they march on. They're just a couple of meters from the line now. The ball's on the ground for Strong. Culhane, Ellis, the pass to Iramia, and it's that easy. Alama Iramia with the 7th All Blacks try in his 4th appearance for the All Blacks.
Well, it was grinding forward play there by the All Blacks and a fabulous layback, and it's actually the pass. That was a super pass out. It's the pass that beat the defenders there. But, you know, we have to go back to the fantastic tackle out on the touchline by the Japanese fullback, Matsuda. This wee fellow, he's got the biggest heart in this stadium.
One of the smallest frames, as Culhane keeps up his 100% record and extends now the All Blacks lead to 49 points to 0. This is devastating stuff. The huge New Zealand travelling support, though, are thinking great things of this side now. Everyone beginning to think of them as potential finalists and even winners. But here again, they can do it anyway. Beautiful passing, so accurate.
Well, of course, this is now great stuff for the All Blacks. They can now use this as an opposed training session. It's maybe a terrible thing to say, but that's the best thing they can do with this game now.
Well, the ball won in open play there is quite overwhelming. And they're launching attacks now from everywhere. They've got the confidence. They've certainly got the cushion. And they can experiment all they want. And here they are now trying their rolling maul again. Jamie Joseph holds it up. Lays it back beautifully for Stratton. And look at the gap. Iramia finds it. Otto goes back. It must be so demoralizing. There's no room for him there. Oh, there is! How did he find that? Extraordinary. Extraordinary lax by the All Blacks. But he's kicked too far for Osborne. Taken by Yoshida. Now Yoshida loves to run. He's taken there by Osborne and by Wilson. Well, the crowd like that, the All Blacks going to ground, not staying on their feet.
You know, the crowd love a player like Yoshida, Chris, and Otto on the other wing. Players that when they get the ball, they just pick it up and run like hell.
Tremendously courageous. This is Hirose. And this is about the first time we've seen a serious Japanese attack, certainly this close to the All Blacks line. Zinzan Brook, his first game for 6 weeks following Achilles tendon injury. Taken cleanly by Joseph. First drawn, mighty pass to Iramia.
It's a shame when the Japanese have practiced all their fancy short lineouts and then the throw goes so badly wrong as it did there, and possibly the best attacking position that the Japanese will get in this whole game.
Strong. Well, he can afford that sort of luxury. Very untidy passing. Now, away comes Yoshida again. Straight into that All Black cover. Bravely done for Murata. To Ferguson. Little chip ahead by him. Culhane has it covered, but he's taken by Ferguson. This is dangerous now if the Japanese can come in numbers. But it's well protected again by the forwards. And time for Wilson to clear. Wilson, who was injured in his opening match against Ireland, but back in the right wing and very much the first choice if he's fit. So we've gone a couple of minutes now, Gordon, without scoring.
Well, see, they were actually scoring 2 points for every 2 minutes, but it's great that they're stemming the flow. If they can keep the ball in the All Blacks half for the next 5 minutes, I'll be very relieved for them.
That's Craig Dowd, back in the first choice loose head, but the All Blacks closing the gap. So Murata, and this is the first extended period of Japanese pressure.
I just wish this referee was refereeing the game last night between Scotland and France, the way he's refereeing the lineouts here.
He's certainly being very vigilant as far as the closing the gap is concerned, which some referees have not been. Now, this is one of the mesmerising moves that the Japanese have worked out, but it didn't get them very far through Bruce Ferguson. In fact, Strawn comes away with it. Brook the pass for Iremia. There's so much room out there from Ellis to Rush. Rush has Otto. He's beaten Otto. He's now just got Matsuda to beat. The support coming in from Culhane, and it's wonderful try and running again from the All Blacks, and this time it's Culhane's first try.
Yes, great support play. Once again, it's great to see Matsuda stopping the ball carrier away out there in the wing, but the support play is magnificent. Here's the tackle coming in from, that's Otto that missed that tackle. Now Matsuda comes in now. There he is, takes his man, but great support running by the All Blacks.
Classic demonstration of how to support the ball carrier from Culhane, who now tries to convert and does. And I would have thought that the all-time record between these two, 106 points to 4, is now in danger, because we've got 56 points on the board, and it was Eric Rush. He managed to get round Otto, but not Matsuda. Brave defence by him. There was nothing he could have done about the support play of Culhane. Now, has that made the 10-metre line? Yes, palm back by Brook, Robin Brook to Culhane. Again, just huge acres of space there. Iremia didn't even need it, though. Up to the halfway line he comes. He has Robin Brook in support. Brook so lively in the loose after his long layoff. Now to Wilson. It gives Wilson the chance to go for the line. He surely got there. And he has. And this is just a rout.
Yes, Wilson showing marvellous balance there, because Yoshida was chasing, snapping at his heels, desperate just to get in there. But for this young fellow, he's got a cool head.
Well, this is the man, of course, who had a sensational international debut. Again, just look at the power of that and the passing of Brook. He scored 3 tries in his first international against Scotland, and has a tremendous future. And that is his 4th try. His 5th try for New Zealand. So the Japanese forming a little huddle, but it's difficult to know just what they can do. They must try and limit the damage as much as they can. Culhane. Well, he hasn't missed yet, and that's 63 points to 0 now, and we've still got an awful long way to go, and it must seem like an awful long way for the Japanese. And here's Iremia, who's running in midfield, has proved almost unstoppable. Brook in support, and Brook, remember, has had a calf injury for this tournament so far. His first match, you would think he'd be a little bit rusty, inside and out. Yoshida was beaten by Jeff Wilson. So this is a familiar sight for Akira Yoshida, taken by Joseph, but obstruction there. The All Blacks coming in front of the ball taker, but George Gadjevich refereeing this very firmly indeed, not letting the All Blacks away with anything. Now Sakabura up into the 22, not back 10, and away now comes Bruce Ferguson. What can they do? It's to Izawa, but Izawa loses control. Just the very weight of tackle, Gordon, is too much.
Yes, exactly, Chris. These fellas are playing their hearts out, they really are. But, you know, it really is men against boys. It's the type of thing that if this was boxing, the corner would have thrown in the towel already.
Away comes Zinzanbrook to Osborne. Lovely running by Osborne. Beautiful play. And Strawn to Wilson. Now Wilson's just scored. Can he go the whole way again? He's got support from Schuler outside. Strawn manages to keep the continuity going. Joseph. The All Blacks just a couple of metres short. Strawn to Joseph again. There's so much space out there. There's just Iramia and Rush and Ellis, and there's just not a soul out there to prevent Ellis from going in for his third try of the match. And it's almost painful now. It's such a mismatch. But the All Blacks don't know what it is to let up. They're totally ruthless. And there were their forwards driving up to the line. Now there were men queuing up outside Jamie Joseph there, and it was Culhane's back flip. And Rush, very unselfishly, because I think he could have gone himself, gave Ellis the chance for his hat-trick.
Yes, Jamie Joseph there, Chris, was in normal forward think tank. But luckily, one of the other players took the ball off him and threw the ball wide.
So, Simon Culhane. And he hasn't missed that either. So that is his 9th conversion coming up. And it's 70 points to 0. 75, well, 70 on the scoreboard, 75 there. And Ellis with the easy touch. Well, it's far from the perfect performance. 70 points to 0 it is on the scoreboard. We have a change, I think, in the scoring, and that's it. 70 points to 0, and we're 33 minutes into the half. Away comes Izawa. Hirose, Yoshida, Matsuda, Matoki, but they're going nowhere. Kunda now lends his support, but they're still not over the 22. Coming over the top, preventing the Japanese from getting the ball back. Now, what are they going to do, Gordon? Are they going to run it, or are they going to try and get some points on the board?
Oh, please let me see them just kicking the ball between the posts. I want to see that 0 opposite Japan's name on the scoreboard altered to 3. Already the one or two of the Japanese forwards, they can hardly get about from one breakdown to the other. My heart really goes out to them.
Well, they've decided that they're going to try and put some points on the board, just from the consolation point of view of getting something on the board. It was interesting that when the two sides last met, John Hart was the coach, and he demanded the perfect performance, and when they came off after having won by 106 points to 4, claimed that it could not have been the perfect performance because they'd given away a try. So Japan look as if they might at least get a penalty, but again it was the All Blacks coming over the top, but there was no way forward for Japan. They just try as they might, and they've tried so hard, cannot make any dent in this All Blacks defence. This is Hirose, 22 years of age, his third cap. And he's got it. And probably the loudest cheer of the afternoon from all the uncommitted. So Japan have got onto the scoreboard, 70 points to 3.
Well, hopefully that will give some of their forwards a wee surge of extra blood rush through the veins, just to give them just a wee bit extra effort from them before half-time.
Culhane. Come away again, though. Oh, interception from Jeff Wilson, and Jeff Wilson is over. And again, it's all down to the pressure. The Japanese forced really to run from all positions, and Wilson was alive to it. Here they are, they're running from really suicidal positions. The pass there easily intercepted, and Yoshida could do nothing about the power of Wilson.
Yes, for Jeff Wilson there, Chris, that was just like taking sweets from a baby. The pass was far too long, allowing him loads of time to keep his eye on the ball and pluck it from mid-air.
So Simon Culhane, again another one, 11 out of 11, and that is a new World Cup record of 11 conversions in the one match, and it was his predecessor Grant Fox who created the old record. So a landmark for Culhane in his first international. Taken by Brook. Zinzan.
How boring of Zinzan Brook to mark that ball.
And Brook, one of the most talented and gifted of the All Blacks. Difficult ball, taken now by Paul Henderson. Paul Henderson drives. Strachan, Culhane, Ellis, Rush. Matsuda tries to come across to cut out Rush, but it was too late. And Eric Rush is over again. It's just too easy.
Yes, the Japanese have got no answer at all to the long spin pass that cuts out the centres, and giving their wingmen, Eric Rush in particular, far too much room. And of course, he's absolutely delighted to exploit it. Loads of ground, and this time he gets inside Japanese fullback Matsuda.
So Culhane from in front of the posts. And that's another 2 points, and that's another record for Culhane, because it was in his first international match against Canada that Andrew Mertens set a world record for a debut international with 28 points, and that now is Culhane's 29th point in the match. So he overtakes the man who's holding down the first choice position as fly half, Andrew Mertens, with the conversion of that try by Eric Rush. Robin Brook feeds his brother Zinzan. Iremia. Ellis, a rare mistake, taking his eye off the ball. So a scrummage. We haven't seen many scrummages. And the All Blacks are pushing before the ball was in. Away comes Kajihara, trying to test the All Blacks defence. With the ball not coming back, and the Japanese been given the put in. They were going forward. The ball was on the floor to become a ruck, and they've won that quickly. Neatly back for Hirose. Now away, a chance for Yashudi to Matoki, but foot in touch. Well, they're trying, the Japanese. And that's the half-time score, 84-3. It's been a complete rout. The All Blacks in total charge. Half-time, 84-3.
Welcome back in the middle of a great day for rugby fans. Wales against Ireland coming up at 4 o'clock this evening. England against Western Samoa still to come. But let's hand it back for the second half of New Zealand against Japan. The All Blacks leading by 84-3. Your commentator, Chris Ray.
Welcome back to Bloemfontein. All sorts of records beckon for the All Blacks. 84 points to 3. Scotland, of course, set the tone with 89 points, which is the record for World Cup scores, and that's surely well within the All Blacks' grasp, within minutes of this second half, one would think, the way they've been going. Strachan to Eremia. Shelter of his forwards. Now Osborne to Rush. Rush taken by Ota. Pass for Eremia. His sight blocked a little by the sun. Now the drive up over the 22. And still the All Blacks can attack from all points. First Strong. Schuler. Strong again. Culhane. Eremia. Rush. Osborne. Glenn Osborne, who has put his imprint on this tournament very quickly indeed, a 23-year-old with a big future. And again, it was all so easy.
Just straight handling out the backs. Good handling, though. Good handling. Osborne, for me, has been one of the players of this tournament so far, and we've actually hardly seen a fraction of what I'm sure he's going to offer between now and New Zealand lifting this World Cup.
So a second try for him. And Culhane, 29 points on his debut. Hasn't missed. And he's been kicking them from all over. They haven't all been easy. That's the first, though. So it's 89 points to 3. They've equalled the record number of points created by Scotland in their opening match against the Ivory Coast. And here, very quick handling. So sharp. Plenty room for Osborne. Matoki. The support from the All Blacks, so deep and so protective. And Culhane not taking any chances this time. So putting pressure on Andrew Mertens, who's had such a marvellous World Cup tournament so far, but he can't afford to relax with Culhane breathing down his neck. That's Kajihara. George Gadjevic making sure that that gap is there, and particularly on the All Black side. He's been very vigilant as far as that's concerned. Brook. Away comes Eremia again. He's set up so much. Henderson always at his elbow. Laid back in classic fashion for Strachan. Eremia again. So much room over the 22, and it's Ellis. And Ellis's fourth try. He'll never have it so easy. And the crowd already chanting, easy, easy.
They could have been chanting that after about 10 minutes of this game. But, you know, Eremia is so big and powerful and fast. The Japanese just have got no answer for him. And, of course, Ellis really just has to take the ball there and run round. But Eremia, for me, is really creating havoc. He has done really since the game started, and the poor Japanese centres, they're absolutely sick of the sight of him.
Well, this is now the new record, and the All Blacks, knowing them, ruthless as they are, won't stop short at that. So Culhane, just about every second minute he's been involved kicking conversions.
I think he's getting bored doing it, Chris.
27-year-old from South London has kicked them into the first division of the provincial championship. He's had a good season for them, and he's having a tremendous debut for New Zealand. Another 2 points. New Zealand lead 96 points to 3. So we have the world record perhaps in our midst, because that was set by Hong Kong beating Singapore in the qualifying stages. Still got a bit to go for that. Robin Brook in there to tidy up. Culhane to Strachan. Can't get it to Wilson. The knock forward. And Strawn, who'd at one stage considered giving up his international ambitions because he was so depressed, but had a series of marvellous trials for the All Blacks and is back in the World Cup squad.
I hear he's also a magnificent golfer. He's just one of these fellows that no matter what sport he touches, he's brilliant at it. You're quite a good golfer yourself, Chris, aren't you?
Yes, but not quite in that class. There's an injury at the moment to one of the Japanese props, and really we've seen so little scrummaging. That's Ota. They've had very little chance even to make contact with the All Blacks in the tight, in the set piece. Ota, an experienced forward, 28th cap this afternoon, and he's probably never known or experienced anything like this before. But he's all right. And in their attempts just to try and hold this All Black forward, they have to scrummage very low. But the All Blacks have been scrummaging very low during this entire tournament. Offside. Paul Henderson, a little bit quick. Now Izawa, not back 10 metres. Quickly taken by Murata. Now what can they do? It's Matoki, it's still going. Matoki, he's got support and it's a try! And I think it's Kashihara who scored. And that's the man who scored, Kashihara, and there's no more popular score this afternoon.
It's a wonderful score, just sheer determined, lung-busting running by him. And you know, that has been cheered even more by the New Zealand supporters than the New Zealand supporters cheered when the New Zealanders scored their first try.
Well, Kashihara has proved a most useful forward for Japan, and the conversion points from Hirose. So that's the most popular score. New Zealand 96 and Japan 10, and the setup play was really the work of Akira Yoshida in the center, and it was for that man Kashihara.
What a comeback this would be, Chris.
Now that would be a world record. Way come the All Blacks again through Norm Hewitt. Storm and Norm. The Lions will know him well from 1993. And the All Blacks won't like that. They'll come back straight away. They won't stand any nonsense. They want it back now. Strawn trying to link up with Henderson. But knock on, and uncharacteristically untidy stuff by the All Blacks. They'll try and tighten it up. They don't like that sort of untidiness. Good quick ball won by Japan. Otto. Straight to Osborne. The support back for Osborne. He doesn't need it. He's still going up over the 22. Schuler gets support from Brook. Norm Hewitt up to the line. And the All Blacks are over again. And the try scorer this time is Craig Dowd. So straight away they come back. His first try in the tournament.
Yes, all the New Zealanders are getting in on the try scoring act now. But you know, again, Osborne, super running from that poor kick out from defence by Japan. And in comes the support play now. And you know, the Japanese earlier, I thought, had done extremely well in front of the posts when they stopped the New Zealanders' maul. They then had a good scrum, but it's sad at the end of the day the All Blacks can come back and score so easily.
So the 100 points are up, and here now Culhane to see if he can extend New Zealand's lead and also improve his own world record for a debut match, and he does. 103 points at a 10, and really scores like this are not going to do the World Cup much good. They're not going to do Japan much good, and one wonders just what good they do New Zealand, but they're certainly giving them a marvellous piece of unopposed rugby. Schuler in there, and Robin Brook. Robin Brook proved his fitness, and that's important for the All Blacks. Away went Norm Hewitt, up almost to the line, and it was Craig Dowd, his front row partner, who was over for the try. Taken by Zinzan Brook. He's had a quiet recovery match, which is probably just what he wants. But such a skilled footballer, can kick beautifully with either foot, and we're going to be very important in the matches that matter for the All Blacks that he prove his fitness. Well, that's the crowd now, I think, pretty bored with what's going on in the field. They've seen enough tries to last them for a long time, and now engaging in the Mexican wave. But Sukabara hasn't given up. Bruce Ferguson, a little bit of room to move. Links up with Izawa, but he is well taken. All Blacks coming over the top though. Murata, the scrum half, wants to take it quickly. Takes it to Kunda, his captain, but just a little bit quickly. The referee was still talking to the players while Japan were trying to run the ball quickly. That's Izawa. Came on as the replacement for Sione Latu against Ireland.
Chris, I have to say that these Japanese forwards, they've really come back into this game. I mean, 2/3 of the way through the first half, there were 3 of them in particular who were absolutely dead on their feet. But now they've got the strength back in their legs, and they're showing tremendous commitment and some flair as well. It's wonderful just to see the effort they're putting into this game.
Well, certainly in possession-wise, they've won almost as much as the All Blacks in this half. And it's a terrific tribute to their courage and tenacity. And now they're going to run from everywhere. That's the scrum half Murata. Now they swarm in, and they've got men banked. Oh, surely a dangerous tackle there from Eric Rush, but the referee says play on. Bruce Ferguson in possession now for Japan. Number 8 there is Sinali Latu. Hiroshi, but that's not going to go anywhere except to Jeff Wilson. Now Matsuda back to take that dropout. Wanting support from his 3/4, but doesn't get it. And this will test Robin Brook. But he's not to be outdone by his brother Zinzan. I think he enjoyed that very much. Anything that Zinzan can do, Robin can do just as well. It's a lovely right-footed kick.
A good bit of competition between brothers never does any harm at all, Chris.
Bruce Ferguson. Taken by Takahashi. Up to the 10-metre line. Trying to lay it back for Murata. But Kevin Schuler is in there, grappling for it. Trying to work it back for the All Blacks. It's Richard Lowe. His first try for New Zealand this afternoon.
The New Zealand forwards picked up the Japanese scrum half Murata almost as easily there as they would pick up the ball. The difference in strength between the forwards is quite incredible. And when you were saying earlier, Chris, you know, you don't know really what good this type of game does for rugby or the Rugby World Cup. But, you know, Japan, they qualified to get to the finals. And, you know, they're here on merit. And at the end of the day, it's the only way they can measure where they stand in world rugby and how they're developing.
And certainly they produce some sparkling rugby in their 2 opening matches. I think it's, as we speak, an injury to Sunali Latu, the number 8, and they're just checking that he is not going to be able to take part before they bring in the replacement, or bring on the replacement, who will be Akatsuka, who's a lock, but they're not convinced yet that Latu can't return to the field. Yes, we've got the replacement on, Akatsuka. His 3rd cap, 21 years of age, and he goes into the number 8 position, although he's a lock. And well picked up there by Murata. Lovely running by him, only insofar though as Schuler. And the line out. Schuler there, number 6, who's spent a couple of years working in Japan. But fine running by Murata. So George Gajevic, who's had firm control of this, now just disappeared round, almost unnoticed, round the blind side. But it was Schuler who cut it out. So rigged out at the front. And it falls for Hirose. Matoki. Murata again. And offside against the All Blacks. And this is a spirited comeback by Japan. 103 points to 10 down, and they still haven't given up. Sukabara into Izawa. Now away comes Bruce Ferguson, the biggest man in this Japanese side. And the All Blacks just temporarily have really lost their pattern and rhythm, and it's now Japan doing the attacking. But they're passing not quite up to it. Good play from Matoki, though, to his co-centre Yoshida. Now away comes Izawa. But the All Blacks are coming through. They're having to give ground all the time. Irimi coming through so quickly. And now there's room. Osborne still. He has Ellis in support. And it's still Osborne. And Ellis races away. Rushes with him. Rush well taken by Otto. Still the All Blacks are pile through, and another score, and it's Robin Brook again. And wave upon wave of All Blacks comes through. No matter how many you tackle, they keep coming at you. And Robin Brook's 2nd try.
Great support play, I must admit, by the All Blacks. They'd really just one breakdown by the Japanese. Away comes Osborne. He's such a lovely balanced runner as well, in such control, holding, waiting in the support, getting there. Ellis then coming in, and of course he pops it, and Rush doesn't see Otto coming, and he gets absolutely flattened, but he still goes down and lays the ball back. And the big man Brook enjoying his swallow dive effort.
Well, that would be most encouraging, though, for the All Blacks to see the form of Robin Brook. He's very important to them. As Culhane comes in and adds the goal points and takes New Zealand still further clear. 110 points to 10, and that overhauls their highest ever score, which was in that unofficial international against Japan when they won by 106 points to 4. And it was Ellis who, unselfishly again, he might have gone in his own, who laid it back first for Rush, then for Zinzan, and Robin Brook with the flourish. So the sun, that seems to be the biggest problem for the All Blacks in the second half. But not enough of a problem to stop them scoring. Culhane. And any slight error now from the All Blacks is greeted with jeers by the crowd. A reminder that immediately following this at 4 o'clock, Ireland against Wales, and later at 7, England against Western Samoa. Here at Bloemfontein, that's the score. We're into the final quarter. 110 points to 10. It's been relentless stuff, but the All Blacks being penalised at the line out again. Izawa goes away with it a little bit too quickly for the referee. Murata. And the All Blacks are coming through. Schuller, determined as ever. But the ball had been knocked forward, so it's a scrummage down. And that's pretty uncompromising All Blacks front row, and terrible damage they're doing to that scrummage. Matsuda, who's proved himself both courageous and elusive. Bruce Ferguson can't control it. Knocked forward. The referee trying to play advantage wherever possible. He's had a good match, George Gadjevic, in his 9th international. Japan trying to hold, and in fact doing more than trying to hold. They just nudged the All Blacks back a little bit there. Made that difficult ball for Culhane, but he's had an international debut he'll certainly never forget. A world record haul of points for a player in his first international.
That was a fabulous scrum there from the Japanese on the All Blacks put-in.
Taken by Sakabura to Hirose. Murata, Hirose, and that's Matoki. And Matoki found a gap. And Yoshida is steaming down the wing. And almost got there. Terrific. They never stopped running and making life as difficult as possible for the All Blacks and Jeff Wilson there.
Some of the viewers will maybe remember Yoshida from the last World Cup when he literally won the hearts of the crowds at Murrayfield with the sheer determination of his running.
Well, he made life very difficult for Wilson and Glenn Osborne there. Schuller to Lowe. Strawn, Culhane, and Culhane not going for touch, or certainly found a huge gap there and got the touch, but he was going for the gap that he saw, and he can kick mighty distances. That again, huge encouragement for his forwards. And the Japanese forwards have to come all the way back, almost up to their 22. How discouraging that is for them. Sakuraba has worked hard along with Ferguson to try and win some possession at the line-out. There's Norm Hewitt. And that's good ball won again as Henderson tries to pilfer, but away come Japan now through Matoki. Matoki's found a little bit of a gap. Out to Otto. Couldn't just quite get the ball to bounce forward.
Yes, really the pass to miss out fullback Matsuda, that was the mistake. If the pass had gone to straight back to Matsuda, he could then have put Otto away.
So Strong with the boot. Culhane. Ellis. Difficult ball for Ellis, and he was punished for it. So it's Japan moving forward. They get the put in. 15 minutes remaining. And away come Japan again. It's Matsuda. up to the 22. Matsuda has support from Kajihara again, and it's a marvellous score once again for Kajihara, his second try of the match, and the Japanese are not finished. Oh, it's greeted with great applause, and the second try for Kajihara.
It's just sheer magnificent guts and effort here. Away he goes, and he's had a fantastic match, Matsuda, and of course the big man. I'm absolutely delighted for him, I really am. But that came from a back row move off a Japanese put into the scrum, with the number 8 actually detaching before the ball went in. So the substitution that was made a few minutes ago when Akatsuka came on, he has actually helped the Japanese scrum immensely since he's been introduced.
Well, they've certainly got the shove on a couple of occasions, and that was one of them, giving the platform for them to launch that attack. And Hirose, he's got it. So there's a lot to do in 15 minutes, but they've hoisted their total now to 17 points with 2 tries by that man, Kajihara, and a terrific running by Matsuda, who has never given up, either in defence or attack, and great support there from his flank forward, Kajihara. Culhane. And it's the replacement again, Akatsuka. He's certainly stamped his authority on this. Latu. Back for Strong. Culhane. Yoshida coming across. Support from Izawa. The All Blacks are queuing up for it. Low to Strong. He has Joseph inside him. Now to Schuler. Dow just couldn't quite control. Knocked forward. There'll be a scrummage down. And that's the man who's come on and certainly revitalised the scrummage, Akatsuka. Just 21 years of age, a student. And again, a solid-looking scrummage. That's Akira Yoshida. Osborne goes back. Osborne will want to attack. And he does, but they've got hold of him this time. Acrobatic play by Jeff Wilson. Still Wilson. Joseph. Terrible ball for Norman Hewitt, but Joseph comes back to try and make amends. Japan are still in there, making things difficult. Tackling for all they're worth. Strong, quickly to Ellis. Ellis has a lot of support outside him and decides to go on his own way. And another chinking, magical run from Ellis for his 5th try.
Well, that's 5 he's got. I think it was after about 10 minutes of this game, Chris, I tipped him to score 6 today. And I must admit that it was a lovely bit of running from him. Jeff Wilson did show some fabulous handling earlier on, as you were saying. But Ellis there was in such control. He's very comfortable on the ball. And a lovely runner. A super try for him.
Well, it's all so much happier now for him than his rather wretched tour of England when he was played as a fly half. And now he seems to have found his real position as Culhane from the fly half position. Kicks another 2 points and stretches New Zealand's lead to 117 points to 17.
But that's been a smashing flurry though that we've had from the Japanese. They've really they stopped this incredible onslaught there had been. I mean, you can see there Ellis in such control, and the despairing tacklers just really had no chance at all. He's a very powerful boy when he's on the ball. But I'm delighted at the way the Japanese stopped this incredible flow of non-stop try scoring by the All Blacks. That's one that's slipped through, and I'm just hoping now that they can come back up this and keep the All Blacks pinned in their own half.
Culhane, Iramia, Osborne. He's set up so much in the back, and he's had so much support round him. This time from Henderson. Osborne. Ellis. Ellis has Wilson outside. He doesn't need him. That's the kick for Wilson. Now watch Wilson go. If he gets a favourable bounce, he's over. The try, has he? The referee says no, 22. He didn't ground the ball. According to the referee, it was spectacular stuff, and it's a 22. Wilson doesn't mind too much. And that's a lovely exchange between the two wings.
I think Chris here will see that the referee has given a very diplomatic decision. For me, that was a try. That's, oh well, maybe he did lose.
He lost possession of it. No, yes, good decision from the referee. But Wilson won't mind losing that one. Cleverly taken drop out. But the All Blacks have it. Robin Brook in control. Now they try the rolling maul. Up to the 22 they come. Just varying the play. Sucking in the Japanese defence all the while. Number 7 there standing off is Henderson, but it comes for Culhane. Iremia, a miss pass to Osborne. Support from Henderson, the captain. Away comes Strong to Ellis again. And is Ellis going over for his 6th? Yes, nothing can stop him. It's Ellis in for his 6th try of the match.
Well, these All Blacks, Chris, I'll give them their due. They know fine that New Zealand are in this tournament for some time, and every one of them wants to stake a claim for the big games ahead of them. And if there's one boy that's done it today, it's this fella Ellis. Gosh, he's very powerful when he gets the ball in his hands. He's not that powerfully built, but when he starts to motor, there's nothing the Japanese can do about it. And you made the point earlier, Chris, that this is a Japanese team that in the earlier ties have actually shown some great play. And as you were saying, the Irish boys didn't exactly run away with the game against them.
So Culhane, just one failure this afternoon. A masterly demonstration of goal kicking. And he's done it again. So Simon Culhane, he's had to wait a long time for his first international cap, but my heavens, he's made the most of it. And here we see again Paul Henderson, who's been non-stop, wonderful support player, set it up. And the acceleration of this man in the centre that gives the All Blacks that little bit of extra cutting edge. Now, Matoku's had a lot of kicking off to do. The Japanese cut their line. They're looking exceptionally tired now, and who can wonder at that? That's Kunda, the captain. 7 minutes of play remaining. Ferguson at the back, but it's taken by Izawa, coming neatly into the gap. Just couldn't quite control the layback though. And the All Blacks up to the 22 now comes Akira Yoshida, taken by the winger Otto, who'd come in looking for work. On the All Blacks a 22. But the All Blacks have it. It's Zinzanbroek. Out to Ellis. He juggles with it. To Osborne. Osborne has Rush outside him. Was that a little bit forward? It looked as if it might have been. The referee said play on. And Eric Rush gone over for yet another try. It's the 3rd try for Eric Rush. And it's the 19th of the match for the All Blacks. So his 3rd try and only his first full international. And look at that wonderful sleight of hand of Ellis. He's a most talented footballer, and once again, well, that looked a little bit forward to me, but the referee wasn't perhaps in the best position. He can't keep up with the play so fast as this All Blacks assault, and it was Eric Rush's 3rd try.
As you can see there, Chris, there's one or two of the Japanese players are just getting back behind the goal line and no more.
Yes, they'll be mighty glad to hear that final whistle now. It has been a rout, it's been humiliation in many ways, but they've stuck at it nobly. Culhane, I think he's done it again. Yes, he has. So that's 131 points to 17. The world record, of course, is 164, so they've got a little bit to do if they're going to match that, but it's nevertheless been an unbelievable performance by the All Blacks. Oh, a lovely piece of play now by Japan. That's Yoshida. If they can work this back quickly, but the All Blacks are back now. They've won a penalty. The All Blacks preventing release. Murata. Now into Bruce Ferguson. Murata again. Otto. Was he blocked? Surely he was blocked. The referee saying play on, playing advantage. There was no advantage. Another penalty then to Japan. Obstruction by the All Blacks. There's Otto. Trying to go through himself. But Brooks having none of it. But away comes Murata, the scrum half. The All Blacks, I think, have won it. There's room for Ellis to run, and Iramia, and Rush. Rush has Osborne. Now, is Osborne going to go the whole length of the field? He's going to take Matsuda on. He's still going. He's got support now from Strong. Also from Schuller, but there's Wilson going all the way to the line. He's chased by Yoshida, but it's another try for the All Blacks. It's from one end of the field to the other, and it's Wilson's hat-trick. And it's the 20th try. And the All Blacks have scored again.
Marvellous stuff from the All Blacks. As you can see here, start to run the ball out from behind their own goal line. It's definitely on, but Osborne, he has the balance, he's got the pace, happy to take on the defenders that had got back. There's plenty of support there. Jeff Wilson steaming up on the outside, delighted to take it. There actually were one or two of the All Blacks forwards that had made the effort to get up in support of Osborne, and I think they were just a wee bit disappointed that he turned to his right to feed out to Wilson and not to the left to them.
Well, Simon Culhane may be just a wee bit disappointed that Wilson left him with such a difficult kick. He's got a mere 41 points for the match on his debut, so he smashed Andrew Merton's record. And he looks to have got that pretty well, and he has. Takes it up to 43 points. A remarkable kicking performance, because a great number of those tries have been scored wide out. That's the lead, 138-17.
Well, Chris, I hope there's just time for one more try from Kajihara. I would love to see him get his hat-trick against the All Blacks.
Yeah, wouldn't that be something? A hat-trick against the All Blacks and you lose by that amount. Here's Norm Hewitt. And away they come again. Ellis. Oh, beautiful play by Rush to Osborne, who's been in the line at every opportunity. And Rush again, and he's got players to left and right of him. He's going himself. They're going to overdo it. Henderson. But it's going to be Henderson, despite the referee, who goes over as captain of the day. And he loved that one. Paul Henderson. He's been an All Black in 1990. He's only won 8 caps since then. And there's no more popular player in the New Zealand squad than this man. Made captain for the day, and he scored a try.
Yes, lovely to see the action from some of these hardened All Blacks players congratulating their captain.
Well, they almost just over-gilded this, didn't they?
Yes, but it was lovely stuff. And Osborne doing really well to get away from Otto. Rush, what a beautiful runner he is. And you know, when this ball went back inside, all the supporters had actually run past him. I actually thought the referee was going to pick the ball up there instead of the captain.
Well, he's the only one who hadn't scored a try, just about, I think. Culhane, 43 points. And he's got that one, and that takes him to 45 points. So Gavin Hastings' world record of points goes, world record in a major international, that is. So that goes, and Culhane not only breaks the number of points scored by a player on his first international appearance, but he breaks the world record of points, and fittingly that is the last act of the game. It was an absolute rout. The All Blacks are winning by 145 points to 70.
Well, we always knew then that New Zealand would win that group. Let's have a look at the way the final placings stand for them. New Zealand comfortably clear with 3 wins out of 3, and the team that will accompany them into the quarterfinals, of course, the winner of this afternoon's other game between Wales and Ireland at Bloemfontein. Of course, we'll be bringing you that game, as well as England against Western Samoa, live this evening from Durban. We're going to take another break now. Coming up in a few moments' time, a discussion of yesterday's disgraceful incidents at Port Elizabeth. Don't go away.